And let me explain why. See, there's a difference between having a community and having a toxic community. When adversity came, I could have fell apart, but I chose instead to follow my heart. When adversity comes, I will never run, I will adjust, adapt, and overcome. Vision. Ooh, welcome back to your one-stop shop for everything empowerment. I am your host, Tariq Williams. Let's get right into it. And you know what it is, everything empowerment. I am Tariq Williams. Not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are the host. We are the home of the Recognize Your Vision coaching program. Book a breakthrough call down below. Link in the bio. Anyways, let's get back to it. Let's get back at it. Welcome back to the podcast. And in this episode, we are going to talk about community. Okay? We're going to talk about community, but maybe not in the way that you think we're going to talk about it. So let me start off by telling you all a little bit about me. Some words that and shout out to the word association episode a while back, one of my favorites. But some words that I associate myself with is intelligent, smart, easygoing, generous, giving. And while I'm doing this, think of some words that you associate yourself with, okay? Um, like to have fun, enjoy other people's company, um, like to bring energy when I can, things like that. I think I'm funny. Oh, well, I guess I can't miss an opportunity to tell you all a joke now. So let me tell you all a joke. Okay, here we go. What did the taxi cab driver say to the wolf? All right. What did the taxi cab driver say to the wolf? Werewolf. That's good. You got that. That's a good one. Come on, give me props here. You got to hit the like button now. You got to leave the 5-star rating at this point. That joke was great. Anyways, so funny being one of the words. I mean, some of you may not agree with that at this point, but that's besides the point. Nevertheless, words that I associate myself with. Hardworking, work ethic, just want to enjoy life. I like to think that I'm patient, things like that. Okay. So as once again, as we're talking about this, think about the words that you associate yourself with. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you all a story. So I received, and I talk a lot about my undergrad here and a lot about my blindness here, but this episode is slightly different in the story that I'm going to tell you all today. So I received my master's at Louisiana Tech University and counseling and guidance with certifications in orientation and mobility and rehabilitation teaching for the blind. And I it was a great learning process. I learned a lot. Anyone interested in those fields, shameless plug, I would recommend going to Louisiana Tech. It was a great experience for me. I learned a lot. Okay. And so I got my master's in Louisiana. And Louisiana Tech, not to be confused with Louisiana State University. One's in Ruston, which is where I was, and another one is in Baton Rouge, I believe, the one that most of you probably know. Anyways, so in that degree and everything like that, I learned a lot. I gained a lot of intelligence in those situations, and it was a great time for me. I learned a lot that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. Now, as I've grown in the field in terms of being a program advisor and teaching orientation and mobility, and as I evolved a bit in my experience, there was an application that came out. And The application that came out gave individuals the opportunity to be national orientation and mobility certification trainers. And I had the opportunity to apply. And so what did I do? What did I do? I applied. Now, I applied and I'm putting my resume together. Resume looks great. Okay. Super excited about the resume. And just getting the application together to send it in to be a trainer. Because ultimately, you all know why I'm here on the podcast. You all know why I have the coaching programs. Therefore, this isn't a secret. The opportunity to empower more people and be able to assist other individuals to become better at orientation mobility in that situation was an exciting opportunity for me that I was going to apply for. Now, what happens is I once again knew where my heart was in this situation. I knew what I wanted to do. And so therefore I was gonna go for it. Okay. Um, everything empowerment, right? That sounds about on brand. So after a week or two, 2 weeks or so, everything comes back. And in my head, I'm thinking like, I'm excited, I'm excited for the next opportunity. I'm excited for the next moment that I get to train and be a part of assisting others in their growth process for national orientation and mobility certification. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay. So the email comes out, list comes out, and I don't get it. Okay. I don't get the training certification. I apply, I didn't get it. All right. Now, I am not going to sit here and tell you that I was in the greatest of moods when that happened, right? Because ultimately, just like you all listening right now that listen to the podcast on a consistent basis, just like you all, and for those of you new here, and you come consistently, you will also understand this fact as you continue listening, as you continue connecting with the content. We know our self worth here, okay? We know what we're about, we know our self worth. So we do not let others dictate what our worth is. However, when something comes around that tells you that your worth is less than, it can throw you a little bit. See, I'm not a perfect person, okay? Nobody is perfect. But when someone or something comes around and tries to tell you that your worth isn't where you thought it was, well, hmm, it can be a bit frustrating sometimes, okay? It can be a bit difficult to deal with. I'm not going to sit here and tell you all things mindset and empowerment and tell you all that I don't get frustrated sometimes because we all do. No one in this life is perfect. However, you're perfectly you. Powerful quote from a previous episode. I just figured I had to throw that in there. So the thing is, when it comes to that situation, I was frustrated. I was unhappy and I had to deal with it. Okay. And so that day that I found out, I my mood was all over the place. I had to take some deep breaths, kind of like the one I just breathed into the microphone, which let me know in the comments and what it sounds like. I have this pop filter over my microphone today, so curious to know what that does to the sound. But anyways, so I'm going around and I still had to teach this day, okay? I still had to teach. And so I'm doing my best to not let it affect my mood, but I am unsure if my mentality, if my mindset was at its best level that day, and maybe some of my frustration or exasperation messed with my determination in those classes that I was working with others that day. Now, I'll say this. I have a question for you all, but ultimately, what's really important to me, and I was talking about this on Instagram the other day, is I get nervous sometimes when I'm giving different speeches, sometimes not because I don't know what I'm talking about, but because I want to make sure that I deliver the value that the room deserves, okay? But I love speaking. There's just such a great feeling about it. I love it and the energy, and it's so great when people come up to me and say all these different types of compliments and things, and I hear about how they're making change throughout their day, change in their life for all their different adventures and everything like that. It's amazing. And so, one, thank you all. Thank you all for those of you who consistently show up here and listen to the content and are getting things from it and evolving, because that's what this is all about. I digress. In those moments of frustration that I was having, where I felt a bit down on myself for a bit there, where I felt like I was struggling with my self worth. See, we don't do anything here not for a reason. So remember when I said in the very beginning of the episode that I classify myself as smart, intelligent, funny, hardworking, et cetera, et cetera. Do you believe that those things changed that day because of the struggle that I was going through that day? What do you all think? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. No one is perfect. We all have our different moments. That doesn't change the mentality or who I am as an individual. That doesn't change. Now, getting to the episode and why I brought up that story. So, community. Okay. When we're talking about community, we're talking about a plethora of different things. Who are you surrounding yourself with on a daily basis? But not only who you're surrounding yourself with on a daily basis, who are you talking to? Who are you reaching out to when times are rough for you, when you're struggling? The importance of having a community around yourself is so important. But it's not only about the people, it's about the energy that they're providing for you in different situations. Are you surrounding yourself with people who support you? With people that are going to uplift you? Ooh, another opportunity for a joke. Here we go. It's funny. I don't plan these jokes. They kind of just happen, everyone. All right, here we go. You know, I haven't ventured off too much in my life. I haven't done too many different things, but I have to tell you all, the first time I rode an elevator, it uplifted me. But the second time I rode an elevator, it let me down. So, what type of energy are we talking about here? Okay. Now, when we think about community, I hope that you started thinking about some of the individuals that you surround yourself with on a daily basis, but not only who you surround yourself with on a daily basis, but when you're struggling. Okay. Now, if you're not thinking of some different people right now, if you don't have some individuals in mind right now, we need to change that. Okay. It is required. It's something that you're going to need to think about. People who you look up to, people that bring energy that uplifts you. Okay. This is extremely important to have community around you. I've told you all this a trillion times. I didn't know about the possibilities for blind people until I met other people that believed in blind people and met other blind people. So I developed a community of people that believed in what I could do as an individual. Okay. Now, there were individuals that believed in what I can do because they knew who I was. And then there were others that were like, no, we've seen this. You got this. Right. Now, here's the thing, this could be friends, this could be family, this could be educators, this could be mentors, a part of your community. However, comma, it could also not be friends. It could also not be certain mentors. It could also not be friends, family, etc. It's true. And let me explain why. See, there's a difference between having a community and having a toxic community. Okay. And so when we're talking about a toxic community, I'm not, see, it's a little bit incomplete when you're saying, okay, Tariq, I think you're going to say people who are telling you that you can't do different things or X, Y, and Z, that you can't create your own podcast, Tariq. There's absolutely no way you are going to be successful with your podcast. Okay. That's not exactly what I'm saying. Now, it is what kind of what I'm saying, but not exactly. The reason why I say it's not exactly what I'm saying is because the thing is, there's a difference between telling someone what you feel like is the truth, and because we want those people a part of our community. We want to have people that are going to tell us the truth, be honest with us, and think about what it may look like for you to move forward. That is a real thing, a part of your community. But ultimately, the ultimate goal is to what? Is to have that first time in the elevator where it uplifted you. Okay. Now, if you're around toxic community, if you have a toxic community, what we're doing now is we're telling you all the reasons why you can't do what you want to do, and we're leaving it there. Actually, why are you even trying? Oh, you want to become a doctor? What are you doing? Oh, you want to be a blind lawyer? There's no absolute way that you can do that. We'll drop the link right here. We know those people. Okay. So the fact is, you you don't want to be on that top, because toxic community can have more power than the community you need to have around you. Okay. Because once those external beliefs enter your mind, you say you don't believe them, you believe, and then you're thinking, but maybe they're right. At the signs of struggle, at the signs of hardship, those moments sneak back in, and they're like, why are you even doing what you're doing? That doesn't make any sense. You think you can get your master's degree, but you can't even see? What are you doing? You think that you can be a speaker? You think that you can travel by yourself as a blind person? You think that you can be successful? Once you start letting those things sneak in, your toxic community has power over you, and they're not even in your life anymore because you let them sneak in. And we have to destroy that, shatter that. We can't let toxic community win. Not only can we not let toxic community win, toxic community, you're not allowed here. You're not invited. All right. Toxic community, you're not invited. And see, people don't understand. And so I want to make sure that we understand that in the moment where I struggled, remembering who I was when I didn't get the training cert under after my orientation mobility certification, if I let that sit there and didn't have community around me that said, no, Tariq, of course, still who you are, it's their loss, right? If I didn't have that community, if I was more around a community that was like, yeah, you probably weren't good enough. Yeah, Tariq, it's not for you, but it never will be for you. It's just not it. Tariq, it's just, I mean, it's okay to not be good enough. What are we talking about here? That's the community you want to surround yourself with? That's what you believe is the truth? Get that out of here. Get that out of here, yo. You all y'all stressing me out today. Y'all stressing me out because toxic community is a real thing. And not only that, it has more power than your actual community because you've let it sneak in. See, the human mind is interesting, and I talk about a different quote with one of my friends, Veronica Spark. Shout out Veronica Spark. So we met at the Build Your Brand Live event, and I thought it was so interesting when the way that she defines optimism. And so she defines optimism as a rebellion in the fact that in a world where negativity is the norm, optimism is the ability and the choice to think differently. So, with that being said, I need to be around some rebellious community that knows that we're positive and that we're doing whatever it is we want to do. Because why? Because we deserve the best. Not only I, but we all deserve best. This is our vision of hope. You know what we're about here. So toxic community has a lot of power. However, it only has the power that we give it, and it has the ability to grow. Your toxic community has the ability to grow. So wash your hands of it. Wash your hands of it, because we're not doing it here, everyone. We're not doing it. Absolutely not. Surround yourself with people who are doing what you do. Shout out again, Build Your Brand Live. It was amazing to be around so many different coaches, podcasters, business owners, all working on being better every single day. And we had Alexis Carpenter on the podcast already. We're going to have a lot more people coming on the podcast from Build Your Brand Live, and such an amazing environment. Surround yourself around those people who are doing great things. See, the thing is, as soon as you start giving power to your limits, you guys are getting me started. You know I get passionate. You all know how I do. All right. I just will consistently believe in empowerment, and the things that you want that entered your mindset are there for you, as long as you transform your mindset and put the work in to get to where you want to be. But part of that is also surrounding yourself with the appropriate community. People doing what you do, people who are about what you're about, people putting in the work in just like you, and not the toxic community giving power to those limiting beliefs, because those limiting beliefs don't actually exist. So in this episode, I hope you take away and understand and recognize that your community is important. You have a great community, and if you don't have that community, work on putting yourself out there, because those people are waiting to get to know you as well, because they also need you. Thank you all so much for checking out the podcast today, everyone. I'm so passionate about this concept that I know that there's someone out there that needs to hear it. So please share it on YouTube, leave the 5-star ratings, and let's connect. I'll leave the link in the bio for the launching of the coaching programs coming out next week. Book a breakthrough call so we can shatter the mold and not let anything hold us back. Once again, thank you all for listening. And once again, not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. When adversity came, I could have fell apart, but I chose instead to follow my heart. When adversity comes, I will never run. I will adjust, adapt, and overcome. Vision.